Hi class, welcome to the future of music. I'm just kidding, it's so weird. And that's what we'll be doing today. It might feel like a topic that came out of right field or left field. Out of left field. So did I get it right? This topic may seem like it's coming out of left field. It's actually not, because as many of you know, I am a musician. So I feel like I have a little bit of credibility to talk about this.
Who cares?
All right, so here's how this video is gonna go. For no apparent reason, I'm going to just psychoanalyze the entire music industry for the past 20 years and then predict the future of it. All right, here we go. Okay, starting with like the 90s and early 2000s. Let's say you woke up one day and you were like, I wanna be a pop star. Well, that wouldn't happen if you weren't signed to a major label. And you probably wouldn't even get signed unless you looked like you could be on Disney Channel. It was just all manufactured. Everybody who was signed to a major label had to go through this artist development where they basically teach you how to be an artist and be the image that they want you to be because they know it's gonna sell. And because there was no social media, facades worked. And labels would portray these artists in just these one-dimensional characters.
3, 2,
1. I'm Adrian.
I'm Keely.
And I'm Naturi. And we're
3LW.
So one of my friends grew up with Chris Kirkpatrick from NSYNC, and he said in their band house they had like a list of questions that they could be asked at any point in their career with answers next to them that they were supposed to like memorize. I mean, talk about complete control, which back then, again, was very normal. But as we started to progress, there's a wider selection of songs you can hear and these random uploads from like Napster or Bearshare and MySpace and YouTube. And I think this started causing people to feel desensitized to what they've known, and they were kind of craving something new.
After a while, it just kind of gets old, you know. I like actually the new Aaliyah video where she's all dirty and she's got the snake, you know. It's something more, you know, it's different, and it's I like that.
Then I think the music industry started recognizing that and tried to catch up, which pretty much launched hip hop into the mainstream light. It felt more real and authentic, which I think people appreciated. And I think people were craving that authenticity more and more through the years. So they took on somebody like Katy Perry, you know, I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It. You know, that was such a revolutionary song. People were like, oh wait, I can relate to that. We haven't really talked about this in like a mainstream way with pop music like ever. And this is something that is new. Or someone like Adele, who maybe didn't have the image that the record labels wanted at the time, but she was able to just sing from the heart, and people were like,
this is a fucking breath of fresh air, and we need this because we haven't had this in so long.
I mean, it was just this new evolution of authenticity. It's not just this one-dimensional artist anymore. People want to see different sides of you now. And I think what kind of lifted the veil on that was social media. Back with NSYNC, labels would have the power to say,
I choose Justin Timberlake to be the front runner of this group, and he's gonna go on and do great things and be a solo artist.
And that would never happen with One Direction. You can't have really a front runner. Yes, people will choose their favorites, and maybe there's more of a favorite than others, but people aren't satisfied with just, oh, this is what I have and I'm happy now. People want to choose their favorites.
Zane, sorry, Harry.
And I think that was another hit for the record label, because now they can't tell you who's the front runner and they can't tell you who to like. And they were starting to lose their grip on mainstream radio because thanks to social media, musicians were starting to realize that they don't need a major label, that they can actually buy their own equipment and produce their own music, like Macklemore, who released Thrift Shop without a major label.
What?
So you start seeing this paradigm shift around the early 2010s where things are now not so manufactured. It's still an in-between, but you can start seeing how things are changing. Like look at Justin Bieber. He had a lot of controversy in the past like 10 years, but instead of suppressing it all, like the labels probably wanted him to do, he was just being honest. He's like, I'm going through this hard time and I'm pissed and I'm angry. Okay, we can all relate to that, and that's fine. People are gonna understand that and want to be a part of his journey. And his transparency probably played a huge part in his longevity. So I think the record labels were starting to lose more power at this point because of that, and also because streaming started. Major labels started taking a plummet with profits.
And that has led to a profound shift in the industry.
I mean, they went from like $14 billion to like $7 billion of revenue a year. They had to figure out a new way to keep their profits up. And this is where 360 contracts became the norm, which basically means instead of just taking a percentage out of record sales, they're taking a percentage out of everything and anything that they can.
This plan can't possibly fail!
We will sign you, and we will spend money on you. Actually, here's the black card. Go ahead and do whatever you want. buy your Rolex watch, buy a new car, then you have to pay us back.
Essentially, there are so many new artists who sign this deal because they're like, oh, I'm gonna be with Atlantic Records or Republic Records because they're so reputable, not understanding they're giving the record label way more money than they should in hopes that the record label will deliver on their end. But a lot of times these major labels will sign artists knowing that they're not gonna go anywhere, but put them in a 360 contract as a tax write-off. Oh my God, but that's just a whole other conversation. I forgot what I was gonna say. I hate myself. So at this point, the artist development departments that these labels had pretty much stopped existing because I believe they just can't afford that department anymore, one. And two, because they want to see you get the numbers first. With TikTok coming out, you can just have a song. Some random person will find it. It will be part of a trend, and then it'll blow up. This is such a threat to major labels because now the people can decide what song can go viral easier and faster than ever before. But record labels, on the other hand, are just so powerless here. I can tell you personally, I've been paid for several promotions from different record labels promoting their artists that are actually famous and reputable, but even though they're getting all these big TikTokers to promote their song, it still won't catch on. I just think nobody cares anymore, one, and two, it brings in the authenticity factor I was talking about. People can now recognize, oh, this is probably an ad. There was a time where in my first band I was in, we were trying to get signed to a major label. They thought our music was okay, thought that we had a great image, but who we were just wasn't good enough. We had a couple gay members and they said,
I will walk you into Republic Records right now if you guys all come out as a gay boy band.
some of us weren't gay. And so we were like, okay, well, that's not who we are. And they were like,
If you want to get signed right now, this is who you're going to be.
this is what the problem is. People would know it's all bullshit. And I just think that's a good example of labels are just still the same as they were, trying to change a narrative to fit their agenda. But it's important just not to play a certain character. It's important just to be yourself. And it makes so much sense that these pop stars struggle. I mean, they were forced to play a character like 24/7.
Do you feel out of control in your life?
No, I don't feel like it's out of control. I think it's too in control.
Now it's changing. People can now feel the freedom to just be themselves. Like I just put out a TikTok with my mom, basically saying my mom wanted to be a pop star when she was little, but she couldn't because everyone told her little people can't be pop stars. She won't be taken seriously. So I filmed a little music video to make her feel like she was actually performing. And that video, I didn't even think it would do anything, but it got over like 20 million views. And that is proof that people now understand transparency and they appreciate honesty. And in return, they want to support you because they can relate to it in some way. And I think this mindset has contributed in breaking down barriers. Age, gender, race, sexual orientation. We're all getting woke. Ugh, cringy. But it's true. We're all finally fucking waking up and realizing that things are changing. And artists can now step out of their shells a little bit more in a world that's more accepting. And so they want to contribute in their own way, which I think has been happening and is paving the way for all these new kinds of musicians that we've never seen before and the music that they put out. If a lot of these major labels are gonna have a paradigm shift, I'm excited to see what that does. They're an amazing asset and they have amazing people on their teams who are able to guide certain artists who need help. But it should be a mutual partnership, in my opinion, and I think that's what's gonna end up being the more successful labels in the future, I think, are going to understand that, and they're going to draft up contracts with these artists that reflect that. Not only is that fair, but it's also more ethical. I don't think songs will keep on getting shorter and shorter. I think people will just start feeling like they can be more creative and they can expand more, and I think people will feel like they can listen because they are more accepting and they want to hear what somebody has to say. And because I think the future of music will be all inclusive and more accommodating, the genres of music will start to all kind of mesh together, kind of like they're doing now. Pop now, what is pop now? Pop can be a million different things because pop equals popular, and what's popular now is more inclusive, and people are just now expanding their ear palettes. Is that a word? I don't know. Ear palettes. I'm gonna make that a word now. So those are my thoughts. I guess I just wanted to share with you. And I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. Maybe I'm just a total f***ing idiot, which could be a completely accurate. It's just all like, I don't know. But I hope you enjoyed my 3rd ever vlog. I think I'm getting better. I'm going to be seeing my band next week, so I'm gonna be vlogging with them.
Hello.
Here's Owen.
Owen.
And JP.
JP.
Anyways, not gonna tell you to subscribe because I hate it when YouTubers do that. And I can't believe how much support you guys are giving me on YouTube because I really feel that. I just feel like I hope I give you good content. That's it. Mwah.
Bye, have a great time.